What's up everyone? So we're coming sort of to the end of constructing things out of wood inside the van at the moment. All that's really left to do wood wise is the bench and finish off this cabinet area here. So that's what we're gonna do today. Probably do like the cupboard doors in another video. I'm not really looking forward to them. I've got pretty much all of it cut already. We got this piece by here to blank this area off. It does need a little bit of sanding because it's a bit too tight at the moment. So that one goes in there. To blank this back bit off, I've cut this piece there. So I've cut it around the main uprights so as, you know, it all looks nice. We got this piece here, so that'll be that end, blocking off that. And then to go with that, I've cut a bit of, I don't exactly know the measurement on it, it's like 3x2 or something. Well, 3x1.5 or something like that. I think it's called CLS. So I've cut that, and that will go on the back of that one. And what that'll do is give me a fixing for hinges for the door that is gonna go by here, because obviously I can't put a hinge on the edge of this 12mm. Next, obviously, if I want two cupboards, then I gotta have a centre piece. So cut another one of them there, and that is also notched out at the bottom, the same as that one. And then the main one you've been looking for is the bench. I think this is still a little bit too long, so I need to cut it down. Whoops. I think it's a bit too long on this end over here. So there we go. There's the bench. And obviously, for me to have fitted that, well, to place that on there, I've cut these, what do they call it, the main uprights underneath the bed and the sides of the drawer. I've cut them down. So
without us?
They came out to about there before. So I've cut that off and then cut them across there and up to give this a base to sit onto. Not gonna lie, they were an absolute nightmare to cut in situ, because trying to get a saw to cut right to the end when the floor is in the way, yeah, it was that wasn't fun. And one last piece that I've cut is just a bit of 12mm cut down, and that is, god damn, it's a nightmare when they're not all fixed. That one's just gonna go underneath there in, and it'll just be a plant for that to sit onto. So the end, well, I could put brackets there, but it just makes sense to use this instead, just to give that end something solid. And then this end will just have a bracket connected to the C-pillar of the van. So now what we gotta do is, if I need pocket holes, drill them and start screwing it all together. The first board I'm going to do is the end one next to the bench sheet, because that'll determine where the actual bench sheet goes in. So we get this mounted, and then everything else can go after that. Come in a few inches there because that's where this upright goes. So I don't want to put a pocket hole there, just in case I need to take it out for some reason. And if I put a pocket hole there, I'd have to take this off as well. So by doing it up next to it, means this could come out with it, if you get what I mean. I think I know what I'm talking about. Whether that's true, we will find out. There's 3 on the bottom. And then we'll do a few then going up the side. And then we'll have 1 or 2 by here. Again, can't put, this is the top now, can't put one by there because that's where that goes, and in this area is where the shelf this on top of the worktop goes. So what I'll probably do when the shelf isn't there is screw down into this, so then there's fixings going from both ways then. So I'll put one by here. And then probably one on the edge of it as well. While I'm at it, I'm just going to put this timber on the side as well, because it'll be easier than doing it in the van. And because I don't have screws the length to go right through this, all I've done is mark out how deep I need to drill with the pocket hole, which is that much to make the hole big enough for the head to go through. So I can use these screws, which will do the job just fine. And there we go, it's on there. What I'm going to do once the bench is on as well, I'll probably put 2 in from this side as well, this underneath the bench, because you won't see them. Can't put any up in this end because they'll be on view. That's the first one in. So got that there, and I've connected it to the worktop as well. So it's actually the first fixings I put into the worktop. Now I have to see if I cut this bench properly. I got a feeling it's too long myself.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
See how much I got to cut off. Yeah, it's too long. Alright, let's see if I've got this cut right then. So I measured it. And hopefully, yeah buddy. Awesome. I'll probably screw that directly down into these uprights because that's going to get covered in sponge anyway, so it doesn't matter if screws are visible there. And now I can put this one in there as well. So that's next on the cards. And just to show you by ear, I've rounded the corner off because you don't want to be catching your ass on that. And then just notched it out. It goes in a bit further than around the rubber. And then along there then. And now I can mark out where that one goes. here. There it is fitted, so that is now planted onto there, so this end can't dip down. So it just gives it some support. Don't have to screw into it. I don't think I could anyway, even if I wanted to, because it's 12mm. But yeah, it's not going anywhere now because it's got the screws into these uprights here. So next bit is this bit and the one that goes there. So for this one, I'm just going to drill straight into the metal bar of the bed. I'm just going to put 3 in there first. Notice I didn't drill into these overhanging bits. One, because obviously they're quite a bit weaker than if you drill by there, and this side has got a screw in it for, well, no, both sides have got screws in them already to anchor the uprights into the steel frame, so I don't want to screw into there and then be hitting a screw the other side. Okay, now the next step is to screw from behind there into the end of the bench. But what I might also do is I might put some brackets here, because obviously if someone sits down or falls down, it might rip the screws out of the end of this. So at least with some brackets there as well, it'll potentially stop that happening. No! Ah, man. This is hard enough with one hand. That's what she said. Flipping happens. Tell you what, if you got claustrophobia, you wouldn't like it in here. It's like in prison. Right, so we got 2 in there on that side as well, so I think I'll put 1 in the middle now as well. So this one is going to go here and blank this end off and underneath. I can only really screw it into the metal bar there for now. I have drilled 2 pocket holes at the bottom that I'll have to go in there and screw, so I'm not going to put them in right now, because I'll have to take these out, and then so I'll just leave them out for now, and then when I take these out in the future to get at these panels and them and stuff like that, I'll screw these in then, and then I don't have to keep taking things out and putting them back in again. I can't drill pocket holes on the back here to connect into this because they'll explode out the end. So yeah, I think it'll just be held at the top and the bottom, and see how it goes. Although once they're out, I could probably drill through that into the bench part to secure it that way. So that's probably what I'll do. I did have to trim a bit off this because it was binding. And now I can 2 screws by there and that'll be in. So now that we've got this end piece in, and we've got this one cut. Obviously we need to get that in the centre of there and there, so we need to work that out. So half of 86.6 is 43.3, so I've marked that out there, and now that will go like that, although what I should do is mark it out on the floor as well. I think the next step is to drill some pocket holes at the top and the bottom to get that mounted in, which I have just done. So that's the top, so I've done one either end on that side and then two in the middle on the other side, which will then spread the load, stop it pulling from one side or the other. And then I've done the same on the bottom, so two in the middle on the one side, and I've done it the opposite of what I've done at the top, so in the middle at the bottom on this side and at the ends on the top, and then vice versa on this side. Okay. I don't know whether that's the proper way to do it, but it makes sense to me to do it that way. So carpenters, let me know if that's the way you would do it. So now we just gotta screw it in. I gotta use the right length screws at the top so that they don't explode out the top of the worktop. I can use slightly longer ones down below, because obviously I've got 12mm floor, and then what's underneath it? Can't remember how thick the battens were now. 9mm were they? Something like that anyway. So obviously there's more wood on the bottom. Before I go launching screws into those pocket holes I've drilled, obviously you've got to make sure it's all nice and straight. So I've put a square along this edge on the floor, and I've got it straight there now, so I can start putting screws in. So I've got that one all mounted in now, so the worktop is secured. I think my idea of putting all the pocket holes in, you know, different arrangements worked out, because it seems pretty solid. I also put the 3 screws in on this one, so now that's not going anywhere. So the next thing to do is, obviously I gotta sort out this thing where I've notched it out at the bottom. So I need to put some vertical bits in between, and then what I'll do is cut a really thin bit and put it on the underneath of this as one piece all the way along, and I'll have to drill pocket holes in these to mount it, because I ain't getting a screwdriver underneath there, am I? And then that will box that in, and it'll give me a ledge in order to be able to hopefully put some LED strip lighty thing along the bottom there for some mood lighting. Let's get them cut out. You thought you were going to go all the way through this video with no cutting. You can't have an interior vid with no cutting. I spared you most of it. And there we go, that's all finished by there now, the kickboard or whatever you call it. So I got that bit screwed in. I put pocket holes there and there, and then I got a nice long screw going into that right there, and then these ones same again, going in there. I did have to put a L-shaped bracket in this side because it started exploding out the front there, and this end one the same happened again, so I've just put a screw in from that way. And then finally, to stop it vibrating and rattling around, I've just put a screw in there and there, connecting the pair of them together. So now, yeah, whenever I buy them, I can put some LED strip lighty boys underneath there, and should illuminate this area nicely. It's just occurred to me that something I thought of days, weeks, months ago is that the drawer that I still have to make over there, the big one, is going to be where the loo is going when you're traveling and stuff. But obviously, if you're in bed and you're nowhere near toilets or whatever, you're not on a campsite or something, and you're not in the woods or anything like that, or you're too scared to go and take a piss in the up against a tree or whatever, you're not going to want to go outside, round the back, pull the drawer out to get the toilet out to do your business. So really you're going to want the toilet in here when you're all set up, I think. So my idea was to make this area big enough for the porta potty to go into, but I haven't measured it at all today while I've been making this, so I don't even know if it's gonna fit now. So best I check. And there's no word of a lie now, I'm not winding you up and joking and stuff. I seriously haven't measured it. I think it'll fit. Could have been better fit. I think it'll fit widthways anyway. Oh yes. Oh, look at that. You literally got a finger's gap at the front. I didn't take into account the depth. It was like it was made for it. There's gonna be people going out, yeah, you measured it. You knew what you were doing. Seriously, I didn't. I'm happy with that. Thank God for that. So that is my bench and cabinet unit. As you can see, I'm sat down in here now, and if I'm sat with a broom handle in my back, then I've still got, well, about 2 inches above my head. But I ain't going to be sitting like that, am I? I'm going to be all nice and comfy, leaning on my worktop there. Good enough space for 2 people. I mean, if you've got a family, then you could probably, you know, fit your nipper in between your 2 adults there as well, if you wanted to. And then obviously by there, there'd be 2 single seats, and they'd be on swivels. So although it's only a 2 berth at the moment, if you happen to have a tent box or a tent, or you know, people sleeping in the awning or whatever, then obviously they can sit there to have food or whatever. I plan on having some kind of fold out table here, so obviously these people on this bench can eat from that, and so can the person in the passenger seat. Person in the driver's seat is already catered for. They can have their plate on the worktop there. So yeah, and then obviously if you don't get into bed, you can kneel on that to get up there. That's just a little cubby hole there. That'll be for your toilet or whatever. Plan on putting a shelf in as well. In that corner there, it'll be where all the power stuff is, and the battery and everything. This one, I haven't got a clue what that'll be. So probably put a little cupboard door on that, or that way. We've got one little surprise for you.
I do like surprises.
So, some people have said in the past, what if you're in bed, or what if you're just inside, and say, well, if it's late and you're in bed and you're comfy, you don't really want to go outside to the fridge, because obviously it's in the pull-out kitchen, it comes out the back, or if it's the day and it's pissing down, then again, you don't want to have to go outside to go get a tinny or whatever. So what do? Well, you do that, and you can get to the fridge that way. So we got a double drawer, a drawer within a drawer. So I didn't go for locking ones, because obviously if you're in bed and you pull the drawer out and then it locks, then that's going to do your head in, because then you have to get out and flip the two levers. So they're just heavy duty ones. I think they're 600mm long. I'll put the links in the description for them as well, if they're any good to anyone. And yeah, heavy duty, same as all the other ones I've used, just non-locking. And there we go. And then I've had to notch that area out for the power cable in. Another thing I totally thought about afterwards is that I made all this and then I didn't even look at the power cord. So if it was your normal, you know, pokey out jobby, then it wouldn't have worked and then I would have been crying. But luckily enough, it's a 90-degree one. The wiring system, so that it's long enough for me to pull it out that way and that way. I'll figure that out in the future. I'm sure it can be done. What I have to do now is, I got two options. I can either put a door on here or an end on it, but it can only fix to this part, because obviously if I fix it to the end of the main drawer, this won't come out. It can only be this big, because if it overlaps that, the main drawer won't go out that way. And it would also have to be notched out for the ends of the main runners there, because if it covers them, then again the main drawer won't be able to come out. That's two options, either a door or an end on it. I don't know whether the end thing would look nice. That would be the nicer option and less faff. So if you're in bed, all you gotta do is, you know, get your fingers on it and slide it out. If it's a door, you gotta open the door, then slide this out and then close the door. But I don't know whether I'll be able to pull off doing just the end thing, because it's only got that to bite into, and then once it's on as well, the power cable is embedded into it. So I'd have to put the whatever fixings through this way, so that if you ever need to get the fridge out. So yeah, something to think about. But that's another episode. So I think we'll call it a day for this one now. It's certainly transformed this area now, hasn't it? If you like the layout that I've done and you think, yeah, I fancy a bit of that for my van, then by all means follow my guide on how I done it. Follow the videos. If you do it and then you want to say thank you for me helping you out in any way that I've done that, as funny as that sounds, then consider buying me a coffee. The link for that is in the description as well. thank you very much for the few people that have already bought me a coffee. If you've got any questions at all about anything that I've done, including past videos or just what I've done in this video, then pop your questions in the comments and I'll answer them at the end of the next video. I guess that's all I can say now, so thank you very much for watching and I'll see you next time.